Hello everybody, happy Thanksgiving to all our American viewers. It's that time again, time for another Name the Streamer contest. Now I did go back earlier today and looked at the last 7 we tied. Turns out 5 of them were bucktails or some kind of hair-wing streamer, and only 2 of them were featherwing, so I thought we'd do a featherwing today. And of course my goal was to come up with something with a Thanksgiving color scheme, but try to keep it somewhat of a fishable fly. And I think we got that with this one. And other than the junglecock eyes, there are no exotic materials. Got some brown marabou, some small orange chenille, and then a few feathers from an Indian rooster saddle patch in dark ginger. But the fun in doing a pattern like this is in the experimenting, just playing around with materials and colors and trying to come up with something that'll fish. Now for the contest, if you're new here, how we do it, just leave a comment with what you think we should name this fly. In a few days, I'll get my kids, we'll come up with the top 4 or 5, and we'll put them up for a vote. And like always, I'll send the winner a $25 gift card to Jay Stockard, but I'm going to sweeten this one up just a little bit. Also, I'm going to throw in a hat. Your choice, khaki hat or the blue and gray. But wait, there's more. Also a mug, one of these nice heavy ceramic mugs. Your choice, the green one or the khaki colored one here. And one more thing, since it's getting cold out, I've got these Savage Flies sweatshirt hoodies with the embroidered logo. I'll send you one of these as long as you're a large or an extra large. That's the only sizes I have. Now one last thing, I'm going to be at my farm for Thanksgiving, so I might not be able to respond to all the comments, but if you leave one, I promise you it'll be on the list. So that's it everybody. Happy Thanksgiving. Let's have some fun with this one. So there it is, our as yet to be named 2022 Thanksgiving streamer. Now aside from this junglecock, there's no real exotic materials to it. This wing is from an Indian rooster saddle patch and it's a dark ginger, which I think is a pretty cool color scheme. It's got some orange and yellow. It just really looks like fall. Now I'm tying this on a size 6. I believe this is a 6X long. It's not a real thick hook, but it'll work for our purpose here. And I am stepping my thread up to a 140 denier. This is a burnt orange, which is a pretty cool looking thread color, and I think it's going to look good on the head. So go ahead and take this to the back. Now for the tail on this one, I just chose a brown marabou. There aren't a lot of streamers with marabou tails, other than woolly buggers. But I think it looks kind of cool, and we're getting a little bit crazy anyway, so let's go ahead and catch this in. A small to medium-sized tuft right there. Maybe that's a little bit bigger than a medium, but go ahead and bury this in. Might need to snip this excess. I'm going to take my thread up about midway maybe, and I couldn't really decide what I wanted to use for a rib. So this is just a brown floss. I've got about 8 inches here. I'm going to catch it in 1 or 2 wraps right in the middle, and then I'll fold it back so that I end up with 2 strands. So our rib is going to end up being 2 strands of this floss. I think 1 just wouldn't be enough with the thick chenille body we're going to do. Now with your thread back up front, go ahead and take some small chenille, and of course I'm using orange because this is a Thanksgiving colored streamer. And this is a thin, so you can catch it in up front and help build some of this underbody as you go back. Now park your thread back up front and then just wrap this up, touch and turns until you get up there to your thread. Now I kind of like this style of body on a streamer. It reminds me a little bit of the maple syrup, which Bob will know what I'm talking about with that one. Now let's just grab this, get both these together. You might want to spin them if they're starting to come apart, but I'm going to counter wrap it really just because I don't want these wraps falling in those grooves that chenille left. So space them however you think looks good. Take it all the way up front. Now for the wing, I'm using these 2 feathers from that Indian saddle patch, and I've gone ahead and just glued them together right there where the stems join the barbs. And if you notice, I pulled a little bit more off the bottom. I kind of want them laying flat. I can't always pull that off, but I'm going to try to avoid it sticking way up like that. So I'm going to catch it in right on top, a little bit on top of this chenille, and with a couple of loose wraps, let's go back one right there. We'll do a couple of loose wraps and then, kind of judge it, check our position. I like how that's laying back right there, but it may not stay, so we'll see. Now I can go forward with tighter wraps. And make sure it's still in the plane of the hook. In this case it is. Now we can go ahead and snip off these stems right here. And we could just wrap up ahead and call it done, but I do have some jungle cock eyes, and I don't really use these big long ones right here, so I'm going to go ahead and tie a couple of these on. I think this adds to the holiday theme of it. Okay, now I'll do the same thing on this side. And if you got them where you like, go ahead and snip this off and then spin as many wraps as you need to get a nice big streamer head on this guy. Alright, let's whip finish it and see if we have any cleanup. And there we go. I'm not going to worry about any cleanup. I'm just going to put a big drop of UV resin on there, give me a nice shiny hard head, and then call this thing done. So that's it, everybody. I appreciate you watching. Make sure you let me know in the comments what you think we should call this thing. Y'all take care and happy Thanksgiving. We'll see you next week.